Hi everyone. Evening. I'd like to take you on a journey. Imagine it's 1985. I'm an 11-year-old, pretty much like Vicky and Nicola here. I've just moved to England from Poland, where my mum is running a Polish-British company in the suburbs of Manchester. My mum goes to work every morning dressed in a suit. She's got a corporate job. She travels a lot. She goes out very early and comes back very late at night. I hardly see her. She's very stressed. But on the other hand, my father just set up his new company. He's got a production facility in Poland and he's selling timber products on the British market. It's a substantial company with 2 countries' operations that he's running pretty much from our living room, with the use of a phone and a fax machine. What I see as an 11-year-old is that he has time to spend with me. He takes me to school every day. He picks me up. He's never late. We have ice cream. He takes me to tennis lessons. He cooks my dinner. And we just have an awful lot of fun. And as an 11-year-old, what do I do? What do I know about work? Not very much, other than my father seems to be controlling his time. Why my mum, she's just never there. Now, fast forward all of that to the late 1990s. I'm in my final year of university, and under immense peer pressure, I have to find a job. Now, everyone else is applying to big corporate jobs in the city and going to job applications, going to interviews. So I just succumbed to the peer pressure. Because I studied finance, I make applications to about 50 investment banks. And as in a resulting 2 or 3 months, I get 17 job offers. Now that's a 1 in 3 hit ratio. I'm thinking, wow, this is pretty awesome. I never expected such a result. I'm really proud of myself, my parents are proud, and my friends are really impressed. My only dilemma is which one to choose. So, since I don't know any bankers, and neither do my parents, I start thinking, and reading. And I find a book. And that book is called Liar's Poker. It's a book about traders on Wall Street in New York that spend a lot of time on the phone, they joke around, they do pranks to each other, and they make a ton of money. Now, doesn't that sound like a dream job to a 23-year-old? So, out of all those offers, I take Salomon Brothers. And I end up working in a place pretty much like this. I start out in London and New York on a trading floor. And yes, it is a dream job. My first job following my mother's footsteps in a corporate environment. I get to work with the most modern technology and internet companies at the time. I get to spend time with CEOs. I travel, I lead projects from South Africa to Uzbekistan. And yes, I'm working 100 hours per week. And if you want to calculate that, that's 14 hours per day, including weekends. But I'm having an awful lot of fun. It sounds quite amazing. I think I'm the king of the world. I don't think whether I'm happy or not. I don't have time for that, but surely I'm busy. And then, one day, something really sudden and strange happens. It's called the dotcom crash. One day, a group of people somewhere, somehow decide that technology companies and internet stocks are no longer investable. That means, pretty much, that nobody wants to put any money into these businesses that I've just been spent years working with. So, what does my bank do? Well, in a space of a week, it gets rid of 80% of my department, including me. I'm very frustrated, angry, upset, and it's just a complete crisis. I have no idea what to do. It's my first lessons learned in life that my mother never told me. A corporate job is something that is never safe. You don't control your work controls you. Now, after all the shock had passed, I suddenly realized that this is not about my skills or my experience. It's just a fact of life. So I have a light bulb moment. And I decide that matters have to be taken into my own hands. I can't just quit. I have to find a way where I can build something out of my failure. And I decide that I'm going to now follow my father's footsteps and become an entrepreneur. And at that point, I returned to Poland, and I set up my first company, then the next one. And within a space of a few years, I set up a technology fund. It's one of the first venture capital funds. It's actually the first venture capital fund run and managed by women in Europe. We have managed to gather a group of about 30 partners, investors, and we are working with some of the brightest minds in the country. We now have 17 companies that employ over 500 people. Those companies that I'm working with, I feel I have an impact in life. Some of them help autistic children in their progress to learn. Others provide transport service around Warsaw, or you can book a doctor's appointment with them. Some others sell design furniture. There are gaming companies, there are software companies. There's an awful lot going on. And for the people I'm working with, and for me, this feels like it's just a start. So, whilst I realized that in the beginning I took one path, which was a corporate one, following my mother, then another one following my father, a completely different one, the main thing I've learned is that you have more failures than successes. What is important is that you build on those failures, and that failure is just one outcome of trying. Those who don't try don't fail. So, I'm not here to tell you entrepreneurship is easy. Entrepreneurship is blood, sweat, and tears. Now, what is fun about that is that they taste better because they're your own. Every day brings a new exciting challenge. Some of them are harder, some of them are easier. Some of them require long hours, but they're all a lot of fun. What this teaches me is that you can make something out of nothing. You can just get up one day and decide to change the way you work, the way you live, and from one day to the next, it's really possible to make a diametric change in your life. So, whilst a lot of you are going to be making choices about what to do next, how to choose your path, each one of us has a unique path. And that path is based on your choices. Those choices that you make, you should never make with the pressure of others, not following a crowd or a group. Make those choices with your heart, believe in them, and that will make you happy. Thank you.